Hey everyone, and welcome to Roosevelt Radio. This is a podcast dedicated to the amazing Roosevelt shirts and the people who love them. My name is Dustin, and I am proud to be here with you on the very first episode of Roosevelt's Radio. My co-host here, let me introduce the amazing John. John, hey, how you doing?
Hey, buddy, how's it going, man?
It's good. Can you believe it? 1 week later, and we're actually here recording a podcast.
1 week later, we're finally doing this. I love this because I've been wanting to do this for so long, and you expressed that you also wanted to do this for so long. So I'm glad that we found each other,
Yeah.
and I'm really excited to see how this turns out, and it's going to be a great time.
We're going to get into it, but just so that the listeners are very, very clear about this, we met and maybe had some light interactions online from some of the content and things like that in the
Sure,
Facebook
of course.
groups and stuff like that. But we didn't really get to talk and sort of hang until 1 week ago, which we're recording this on Saturday, February 10th. 1 week ago, we were both in Orlando at Megacon. And I asked you about your Michael Jordan shirt, and then
Yes.
that led to another thing. And then before you know it, you said podcast. I said podcast. I love an idea. And 1 week later, here we are. It's pretty
It's
amazing.
like the world just like aligned together.
100%. Yeah. I love it. I love meeting new people. I love it when like the energy around an idea, the passion for it kind of comes together. It really can set us up. And here we are doing it. So
we're doing it, and I love it. And I'm so happy that we're finally getting this off the ground, and we're making this thing happen.
For those not super familiar, I'm imagining anyone listening to this is probably already a pretty big fan of the Roosevelt's brand of shirts and clothing.
You'd have to be.
You have to be. Yeah. How did you find us? Otherwise, you need to send us an email first. But the one thing that I kept hearing over and over again is come for the shirts and stay for the people. And this podcast is a perfect example of what happens when you stay for the people.
I agree completely. The shirts brought me in, but it's really the community access that really keeps me there and keeps me going every single time. I love the people. I have made friends that I consider family that I will love forever. And I'm so grateful for everybody's group. It's like, it's instant friendship. It is.
I think maybe folks are a little more familiar with you, but it'd be great to sort of give an origin story here and tell us a little bit about your history and background with Roosevelt's. How'd you find the brand? What have you been doing since? And let me know if you've got a favorite shirt that you want to give props to.
Yeah, sure. So my name is John Madigan. I think some of you know me from the group. And I live in New York City. I live in Staten Island. And I joined Roosevelt's Insiders in June or July of 2021. So I haven't been in here terribly long, but I feel like I've been heavily active. I don't like to sit by the sidelines. I like to start a conversation, talk with people, and kind of make myself out there. I found Roosevelt's due to a Facebook ad that simply would not go away. There was a Facebook ad for the Step Brothers shirt, the Road to Catalina.
Oh,
and that ad just would not go away. I saw it every single day. And can I just tell you, I've never bought anything from a Facebook ad before. Have you?
No, I don't think so.
Never, not once. Never bought anything from a Facebook ad, a Twitter ad, a TikTok ad. Never, not once. But this Roosevelt's ad would not go away. So I click on it, I'm like, oh, that's a great shirt. I'm like, but $65. Back in the day, they were $65 at this point.
Right.
And I'm like, $65. I'm like, I buy my shirts at Walmart currently. And I'm like, what? I'm like, that's so good. I'm like, I keep looking at the Step Brothers shirt. I'm like, I want it. And I'm Googling the company. I'm like, is this real? I'm like, am I going to get gypped? I'm like, is this, some fake stuff? And like, there were lots of good reviews online. And then what was the driving factor, the thing that made me finally press confirm, was I had that shirt in my cart, and then I had the Rocco's Modern Life shirt in my cart.
Yeah, baby.
Before I make a big purchase for myself, I don't know if you're the same, but like I'm kind of like hemming and hawing, like, should I not? Should I do it? Are you kind of the same way?
Yeah. I definitely try to talk myself out of it. Like, do I need this? Do I really need this?
And then, so what happened was the Rocco shirt sold out in my cart. It sold out.
Uh-oh.
And I was like, what? I'm like, it's gone? I'm like, I don't even have the opportunities. I'm like, I can't miss the Step Brothers shirt. I'm like, so I just bought it. And
man.
I'm like, and I bought it, and I love it. And I was like, okay, I'm like, more of this, more. this is good, and the rest is history. And now and now I have a closet full of shirts and lots of credit card debt, and doing great.
I resemble that remark.
Yeah, Dustin, how about you? How did you find the brand?
I shared this origin story a little bit with some of the folks at Megacon, San Diego Comic-Con of 2023. I had a friend there, and he asked me to basically be his mule. And I didn't know the term at the time, which is basically getting someone who doesn't really want the shirt to stand in line, and then that way you can get an extra copy of the shirt of one of the exclusives.
Yeah.
And so he's like, "Hey, can you come over to this Star Wars booth with me? I want to get this shirt." And this was the first day of the exclusives for San Diego 2023, and it was the Dagobah drip shirt, which, for those not familiar, is a picture of a really large format shirt where Yoda is kind of looking up as if Luke's X-wing is kind of flying away right before he says the immortal line, "No, there is another," or something along those lines in Empire. And I was like, that shirt is beautiful. I'm like, I don't think I'd wear that shirt, but then I saw the one for the next day, which was Figure It Out. And that's the one with all the action figures, and it's sort of the really nice, colorful shirt. And I said, I wouldn't wear this one probably, but I would wear that one. Are they going to sell that one tomorrow? And so from that point on, I was at Roosevelt's main booth as well as the Star Wars booth, and I picked up all the exclusives, and I was lucky enough to get the Tropical Mickey, and I understood the value of exclusives, but I didn't really understand it until afterwards when I joined the Insiders and I found out some of the going rates for some of these shirts and their collectability for people who aren't able to travel. And so that's how I found the brand. And then there was one really key part of that story. While I was standing in line one of those days, a guy in front of me was mentioning that he was frustrated because he couldn't come back and get one of the shirts he wanted, the Mythosaur shirt. It was the Roper with the sort of Mythosaur skull on it. And I was like, "Oh, dude, I'll pick it up for you." And he's like, "Really?" And I was like, "Yeah." And then he's like, "Man," he's like, "you need to know about this Insiders group and, come hang out." He's like, "You're the right kind of people for our crowd." And I picked up the shirt for him and mailed it off to him, and he was super happy. And I continued kind of chatting with him to this day. And
who was that?
This is his nickname is Ball Game.
In
the group. Of course. Yeah. He was just the guy in front of me in line while I was waiting, like on one of the days. And I just said, "I'll pick that up for you. No problem." Had no idea, that was a thing you could ask people to do at cons who were there. I just was being a nice guy. And so that conversation started off, and he and I have done a bunch of trades and things back and forth since.
Ball Game is great.
Yeah.
He's awesome.
Yeah. Really, really looking forward to seeing him in San Diego later this year. But
you're going to San Diego?
Yes, I am going to go. Yeah, man. I'm on the West Coast, right? So you mentioned you're in Staten Island. I'm in San Francisco. So we've got it coast to coast covered for Roosevelt's here. That's how I got started. So I'm even newer to the brand. Not an OG, not a pre-COVID guy. Although I do wonder what it would have been like to have that group and sort of have that group as a support mechanism during the COVID experience.
I agree. I love that. I wish I was a part of that. I wish I could have been there for that.
Yeah, would have made things a little bit more easy. Maybe a little bit easier to know other people are dealing with some of the same stuff as well. But it's a tight knit group. For those who are not connected, you should try to join the Roosevelt's Insiders on Facebook. That's a pretty great group. So that's our origin stories. That's how we kind of came to this point, recording a podcast around our favorite shirt brand. Let's switch gears here, John, and talk a little bit here about what the show is going to be about.
So the show is going to be about different things. So different drops. So obviously, there's a new drop every Tuesday and Thursday. And then occasionally there's a drop on Friday called Drop Zone. And then there's also occasionally a Saturday morning drop. Well, that hasn't been morning recently, but sometimes there's a Nickelodeon drop on Saturdays. It used to be in the morning, like Saturday morning cartoons. Mm-hmm. But they've been doing those on Saturdays at 4 p.m. now, just like the regular drops. So we're going to be talking about the drops. We're going to be talking about what came out, what's coming out, what we hope to see, different patterns and whatnot that we hope to see, different licenses that we're hoping to see, maybe some rumors, some little tidbits, because the way Roosevelt's work is they like to drop out these little tidbits. I think whoever's in charge of marketing at Roosevelt's needs a raise because they're the reason why I have no money. Because I never in my life have I ever had one company take so much of my money. Like it's insane. It's amazing. It's
Yeah.
whoever's doing all this is a genius. And I have no doubt in my mind these guys have meetings about what tidbits and information that they're going to release out at the different cons. You know, it's when they come to a meetup or they come to some sort of event and they're wearing a shirt that we haven't seen yet. That's strategy. That's
Yeah.
not them going through their closet. Oh, which one should I pull out today? Oh, this might be a fun one. Oh, that's right. We didn't release this one. No, they know exactly what they're doing. I'm convinced they have like a little group chat going when somebody realizes something and posts on Insiders. Someone sends a screenshot and they all laugh at us.
Yeah.
Like I believe that.
They're onto us. They're onto us.
100%. So we want to talk about what Roosevelt's is doing, what we hope they're going to be doing, what little tidbits of information we've seen, as well as the community. Because like we were just talking about, the big part about Roosevelt's, more than just the shirts, is the people, the community. And there is a lot that happens in Insiders. There's a lot of good things that happen in Insiders. There's some drama that happens in Insiders. There is what things are happening and selling in BST. Who sold a Kraken this week? And how much did they spend? Did they spend their mortgage payment, or did someone get the steal of a lifetime?
Yeah.
And so we are here to talk everything Roosevelt's, the brand, the company, and the community.
I think that's well said. Yes.
I think I just pulled that out of my ass.
Yeah, no, hey, but it's on the nose. And certainly we're going to take input from the community as well. So we'll also look for Q&A that comes in from the community to submit questions or comments or
Absolutely.
ideas. Let's dive into sort of the big news. And the big news, we've said it a couple of times, we're a week out from Megacon, but I really think it's important for us to draw attention to what happened there outside of our meeting and sort of the origin story of this podcast being cemented, but letting people know a little bit about the show, what it's like to attend an event that is both so heavily invested by both the company as well as the fans, and talk a little bit about some of the crazy things that happened during the week, because we were there the whole week. I got there on Wednesday, and when did you arrive in Orlando?
I also showed up Wednesday. Now, did you go on Sunday?
I did go to the show on Sunday. Yes.
I needed to recover on Sunday.
Yeah, it happens.
Mosh Eisley. I had to recover.
We'll get to Mosh Eisley for sure. Yeah.
From what I remember of Mosh Eisley.
So I'll give the setup here. Megacon is a very large event in Orlando, Florida. It's now timing somewhere around the middle or beginning of February, end of January. The dates kind of shift just a little bit from year to year, but not too much. And Megacon's been a show that's been a mainstay in Orlando for a long time. I mentioned to you, John, I used to live in Orlando. In fact, I grew up in Orlando and then moved to the West Coast. So I used to attend Megacon. I used to do gaming events. Like I used to run like D&D games and board games and things like that at Megacon for a few years. Had a really good time there. But coming back this time, it's a much larger show. And as I understand it, it's now in the top 5 attended shows in the country, along with San Diego Comic-Con, New York Comic-Con, and a couple of others. Megacon's a legit event. It's packed.
Megacon is legit.
Yeah,
100%.
It's huge. It's
the
huge.
amount of people that were even just like still coming in as I was leaving on Saturday. Saturday's the big day for most conventions.
Right.
I was leaving because I got my shirt and I realized we had a big party and big Mosh Eisley event going on that night. I'm like, I need to rest. I'm like, I need to lay down. I'm like, because every day at the convention is so much. It's a lot.
Yeah.
And just as I'm walking out, the line to get in, I was like, and the show floor was already filled. I couldn't believe it. Like, where are these people going to go? I'm like, where are these people going? I'm like, they just stuff you in there like sardines. Like it's
crazy. And
it's a bit much. But Megacon definitely is a huge event.
Yeah.
I couldn't believe the amount of people there. It was intense.
Roosevelt's team had their standard booth, I would say, for an event of this size, and they had the entire staff there. In fact, it seemed like this was a little bit of a team retreat. They brought down the whole team from New Jersey. Not all of them worked the booth, but a lot of them were on hand.
Yes.
One of the things that we knew as insiders or sort of close followers of the brand, we knew that the company was going to be there. And they had actually organized a series of events and activities where there could be interactions with both the company, the insiders, and things along those lines. They organized a family photo, which had, I don't know, what would you say? Felt like 200 people were in that
At
picture.
least, yeah. I
At
mean,
least
Steve said it's the
200
biggest
people.
one they've had.
It's the biggest one they've had. Yeah, they organized an insiders event where you could just come and hang, and that was open to people even who were locals who were not attending the show. They partnered up with, or at least were at Mosh Eisley to give away a shirt. They also all went to Epcot on Friday afternoon, and people got to go around the park and drink around the world with some of the shirt designers, some of the other folks from the team. That's
Yeah.
where people got to see some of the soon to be announced or forthcoming kind of designs. So
Yes.
they
That
really set
was
us up.
100%. When they were packing for that, I'm sure they were like, "Oh, this is going to drive people crazy. This is going to drive people crazy."
They know for sure. It felt like a good reason to travel, not just because of the shirts and the people, but there were also an itinerary of things that you could do that were fun, including theme parks. Now, people did their own things, and some from time to time, some folks went off, but all told, you could make a little mini vacation of it, like a pre-spring vacation of it.
Oh, definitely.
And the weather was great. You know, the weather in Orlando is usually really hot. This was it was a little chilly in the evenings, but
75
for
and
the most
sunny every
part,
day is for.
yeah,
Hey, look, I mean, I'm sitting over here in 35, 40 degrees right now.
yeah,
So, I mean,
it's
what about
great.
you? What is it like near you right now?
I'm embarrassed to say because it's the same weather every day here. So in San Francisco right now, 55 and clear. So 55 seems cold to a former Floridian,
Yeah.
but once you get used to it, like the weather here is basically the same every day. So 75 was a little warm for me. That was like shorts and Kunu weather for me. For anyone who's on the fence about coming to an event like Megacon, you're going to meet a lot of really cool people, and it's instant friendship. Just add cool shirts, right? That's
Right.
basically what we've got. There's exclusives. There's going to be opportunities to ask the people at the company or other super fans. There's trading that goes on. I traded some shirts while I was there. I didn't even expect that. And then there's going to be a lot of other things that most of which are generally family friendly. There were a few folks with families there, but I think most of the people were either kind of without the kids
Mosh,
situation. But
definitely no kids for the Mosh.
yeah, no kids
We're
for Mosh
not.
Eisley.
I mean, it could make for a fun time. It could make for have the kids going and like stage diving and whatnot. I mean, like that would be fun. Like, but I
Could
probably
be.
best to put them in for bedtime. I think.
Yeah, yeah,
I think most people there were adults looking to get away from the kids and
yeah.
just kind of like have fun, act like college kids, and like
And
that's what Rohit was saying. He was telling me that he's grateful that his wife lets him act like a college kid.
yeah,
Like
yeah.
go out and do his thing. And I thought that was a really great way of putting it.
Yeah, that's a really great way to say it. So if you're on the fence, from my perspective as a first timer attending an event this way, this was awesome. John would recommend.
Oh, 100% would recommend. Megacon tickets go on sale next month. Did you see that for 2025?
I did.
So do we think Roosevelt's is attending?
Yes, of course. It's probably their biggest show outside of maybe San Diego or New York.
Right, I agree. Well, I think what we found is that there's the big four. I think there's the big four for Roosevelt's, and I think all the others will kind of interchange and whatnot because we saw that there were some cons, not that I have from the top of my head, that they attended last year. They're not attending this year, but they're attending new cons this
Mm-hmm.
year. But I think the big four that we'll see standard is going to be Megacon, Chicago, San Diego, and New York. I think those are the big four that we'll see them at on a consistent basis.
Well, let's talk a little bit about some of the fun stuff that happened at the show. We definitely saw 4 new shirts. There was a new entry into the Series 2 florals, which I've got a review coming. I actually recorded the review.
Really? For Wearable Fandom?
For Wearable Fandom, yeah. That, not to overpitch that, but that's my content channel, YouTube
We
channel.
mentioned it one time.
That's true, I did. But if I say it again, then. But yeah, at
Wearable
Wearable Fandom. Yep,
on YouTube.
that's it on YouTube. But
TikTok,
I'm doing a review.
And Instagram.
That's right. I got them all. We got them all, baby.
We're even on MySpace.
There was some interesting stuff that happened at MegaCon.
Yeah.
And a little bit of it kind of focused around some of the shirt drama. One of the exclusives was destined for a fate different than intended when the team put those boxes in and shipped them down.
Oh, yeah. And I think, there were a lot of people that came down for that shirt. I think because I initially was offering to do pickups for people.
Mm-hmm.
And I would say a good 80% of the messages that I got were for that shirt.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
most people more people wanted that shirt than the Mickey shirt. The
I
Island
think so
Smiling.
too. Yeah. It's super unique. So the shirt that we're talking to has a title of Welcome to Orlando International Airport. For those who have not been to Orlando, or maybe for some of you who have, they have a little monorail type thing that takes you from the terminals back into the main terminals. And when you get onto that thing, the first thing you hear is, Welcome to Orlando International Airport. I'm Orlando Mayor Buddy Dyer. And so this is kind of an echo of people, especially huge Disney fans, that you're back in your fun place. And they took a shirt design, or created a shirt design from the carpet pattern inside of the main terminal. Now that might sound crazy to you, but it has a lot of special meaning for people, especially Disney adults and super fans, people who love to be on vacation, who love to visit Orlando. And the design of the shirt actually looked pretty awesome, I'm going to
Look
say.
great.
It looked
Absolutely
great. It sounds weird to say the carpet design would make for an awesome wearable shirt, but it was awesome. It looked really cool.
Well, one of my favorite designs that Roosevelt ever did is the arcade carpet. I don't know if you
Oh
have that
yeah.
one.
I don't
And
have it, but I've seen it. Yep.
I think carpet designs look cool.
Yeah.
I think they look cool on a person. And
It's funny.
I think the MC, I think they hit the nail on the head with that. They just didn't get the permission.
Well, that's what happened, right? Yeah. So the night before they were scheduled to release those, that was supposed to be one of the Saturday exclusives. They doubled up on house guests and the carpet.
Yeah.
And in the insider group, the CEO, Steve, posted and said, hey, everybody, we got a notice from the airport that they don't want us distributing this. They're saying essentially we have to cease and desist with the selling of these shirts.
Yeah.
And so a lot of folks were disappointed by that. Obviously, the company paid the money. The shirts exist. It's not a question.
The shirts exist.
The shirts totally exist. So it's not a question of whether or not they wanted to sell them. I don't think they anticipated that they were going to get a legal outreach from
No,
the
of course
airport.
not.
Now, first of all, what self-respecting airport has time to pay attention to this kind of a thing?
Well,
to be honest.
I mean, and not that I know anything. I truthfully do not know anything about how this happened.
Yeah.
It wouldn't shock me though. It wouldn't shock me. And this is shirt drama.
Shirt drama.
Shirt drama. It wouldn't shock me if a competing shirt company reached out to the airport.
Oh, snap.
That's kind of the idea that I've had. I mean, who knows? I'm trying to think, like, how else would they become aware of this?
Yeah, I mean, it does say Orlando International Airport in the name of the shirt, but it's in a picture. Like, it's in a picture. So somebody either told them, maybe one of the insiders works at the airport. I don't know, but they
They're
became
not a
aware of it.
Insider if they.
Well, yeah,
they're not an insider if they were a rat.
Yeah, exactly.
That's not boot them.
Yeah, we'll never know. But the end all of it was that they were not able to distribute that shirt. The overwhelming preponderance of the Megacon weekend, from my perspective, was getting to know people from the insiders group. There was just a lot of access to the company and the leadership, but also the artists and the people who designed the shirts that we love to wear. I mean, it's really cool, I'm sure, for them to see people having so much fun wearing the shirts, but then it's also inversely cool to get to talk to them and just kind of learn a little bit about their creative process and what drives them. What do they get excited about?
And this is your first time kind of talking with them, right?
At all. Yeah.
At all.
I mean, I've had maybe a little bit of adjacent engagement with a couple of them via Instagram and things like that, but never meeting them in person. This was the first.
Some of the nicest individuals, really. I mean, Steve and John and Pete and Dustin, like these people are so nice and kind. They are really are just great people to be around, and you can tell that they love the community just as much as us. And one of the first things we saw at the con, that one of the first times we're actually seeing it in person, are the pins.
Yes.
Did you score a pin in Epcot?
I did not. Well, I had a little bit of a change of plans on Friday, and I was not able to go to Epcot, so I did not score a pin. I was a little.
I'm
I was,
sorry about that, buddy. I was drinking around the world, so I would just assume you were there. I thought I saw
you
you at
did.
one point, but
You didn't see me at the bottom of your cup.
that's what I thought I saw. Oh no, I'm sorry to hear that. I did not.
Yeah. It's fine. It's fine.
It's
I
fine
do.
as you sit there and
I
cry
know.
in the corner of your room. It's
Actually,
fine.
it's funny you say that because I have a feeling I will have some pretty tradable pins because one of the things I do have some rare Disney pins. I have a bunch of Comic-Con exclusive pins from yesterday's.
Really?
So I've got trade bait that I think will ply some people.
You know, it's funny because I never bought pins before. I never bought pins before,
Mm-hmm.
and so Steve said at Comic-Con that we're doing pin trading at Epcot, and I was like, okay. I'm like, well, I need to get me some pins. I'm like, I need something to trade. So luckily, went around Megacon. I found a booth that was selling Disney pins for $3 each, which I thought was great because some of the other pins I saw, some of the other booths that I found, they were selling pins for $8 each, $10 each, $15.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, oh my! I was like, I can't like. I'm like, I can't get into this. I'm like,
Yeah.
found one lady though, really sweet older lady. She was selling Disney pins for $3 each, and so I was really happy to get one. They were trading pins at each country. So every time they went to a new country, Steve would pick somebody and trade a pin with them. It was pretty cool to watch. So I was able to score a couple of different Disney pins, but now I find myself going online and looking and finding like other pins. I'm like, because like I like the ones that I got. I'm like, this look pretty cool. I'm like, and now I'm like, I want that one and I want that one, and oh my god, this adds up really quickly.
I know, especially when they are limited run or something along those lines.
Well, that's the other thing. About the Roosevelt's pins. The pins are individually numbered. The Roosevelt's pins.
Oh man, that's special. That costs extra money too.
We don't have all the details. I'm assuming they are individually numbered by set. So I think there's so the pin that I got, it's Teddy riding on the eagle.
Nice.
And mine is 5 out of 1,000. So I think that means that there are 1,000 of that pin. I don't think there's one Teddy riding on things. I think there's 1,000 Teddy riding on the eagle, and I just happen to have number 5 of 1,000 of
yes.
that. But I mean, maybe you know pins more than me.
I think each number is unique, and that makes it collectible. The lower numbers will always be collectible. But let me grab a bag really quick. So this bag actually, let me get it a little closer. This bag is actually extremely rare, and there's a reason for that because this is a bag that was made only for PlayStation employees. So you can see the PlayStation logo up top there.
Oh,
and then
check
this
that out.
This katakana says Connecto, which basically is PlayStation Connect. So this is something that I have.
That Spider-Man pin is very nice.
The Spider-Man pin is killer.
I'll be awaiting that in my mailbox.
Yeah. The one that I'm drawing your attention to, I mean, there's a bunch on here, but this one right here.
Yes.
This is one of the San Diego Comic-Con exclusives that the Yesterdays puts out.
Oh.
If you don't recognize that is an angled shot of the stairs at the front of the San Diego Convention Center.
Oh,
and
wow.
So every year they make some type of colorway version of this, and they usually limit the number of them to, depending on the one, like it could be 100, it could be 200. So 1,000 is actually a pretty good count, to be honest. This is just like whatever it is that I'm rocking right now.
Yeah.
When we put the pins together with the backpack, which we already saw people putting pins on, you can kind of get the idea of where we're exactly. So you can get the idea of like where we're going with this kind of stuff. So yeah, I'm super excited about that.
Another genius marketing move.
I got to ask you though. Let me ask you. Are you familiar with the origins of the pin trading stuff though?
No. I mean, I know it was really big in Disney. I don't know if it's still big in Disney, but I know Disney. Like there was. I remember my parents taking me to Disney as a kid, and like they gave me the lanyard and they let me buy some pins, and like there was pin trading and whatnot.
Yes.
I don't know if that's as popular as it was 15 years ago.
The cast members were able to grab pins and put them on their lanyards. And so if I recall correctly, the rule was if a guest wants to trade you for a pin, then the cast member has to trade the pin. So most of the cast members would never wear their super rare ones on the lanyard because they didn't want to have to get stuck trading them. But the idea being that if a guest comes up and says, I'd like to trade you, I'll trade you this for that Mickey, then, the cast member was expected to make that trade. Now, if you imagine going to Paris, Disney Paris,
Yeah.
Disney Japan, any of the other global kind of parks and places that they have representation, with that same practice, you can sort of start to get some really fun, cool things, and it becomes this really cool travel memory. So I'm hoping that the spirit and energy of that pin trading that was so popular in Disney becomes a big part of the Roosevelt side. The interesting thing will be is like, well, there's a lot of cast members with lanyards in the parks, right?
Yeah.
There's not so many people who work for the Roosevelts that they could honor the "we'll trade you this for that" type of thing, right? But
Oh yeah, I agree.
but it could be a really fun fan thing. Like, I think the insiders could really sort of embrace that and make it just a really, really fun activity. So I'm pretty hyped and stoked for what comes next.
Oh, definitely. And so the rumor that I heard going around is that they're going to be sold as like mystery packs, like mystery blind packs.
Nice.
I don't know how many per pack. Maybe what's normal? What's like, how are pins normally distributed?
4 to 6 would be like a normal
in a pack.
Yeah, if you like have a box of them, it really depends on how they display them too, because they have the little flat. I would now for next episode, I'll bring some actual pins and show some displays, but it's pretty common to get a box, and then the box will have 4 to 6 pins in it. That's a really good way to do it. And it protects the pins as well. If you get the little plastic backing, you can put them on sort of the displays in the racks, but the fronts of them can get scratched and things like that. You
Sure.
Put these on a bag, you're bouncing the bag around, stuff's going to happen to it, right? So you've got to understand that if you're wearing it outside of its protective case, it potentially could get damaged. It's going to make a new way to make money, and most importantly for the fans, it's going to be fun to have or to trade the different variations that they can put out.
I agree. Did you see that Aaron wound up with 3 pins? I don't know how, but he somehow wound up with 3 pins.
Wow. Do you think that people will start trading pins for shirts?
That's a good question.
I'll give you 3 Krakens for that Kraken shirt. Like, probably a bad example, but
I think it all depends. I mean, that's where the numbering comes in place. If there are only 10 of a certain pin, yeah, I think it could happen.
Yeah.
That would be, I mean, for one, like I said, I have the Teddy Rising thing. It says that there's 1,000 of them. I don't think anybody's trading for that. But, I mean, it depends. I mean, there were like 30,000 insiders. I mean,
that's true.
If we see some rare pins, I mean, we're probably going to get Comic-Con pins, Comic-Con exclusive pins.
Yeah, I could see that. I do it just for the fun of it. Like, I'll give you pins for shirts. Like, the cool part about it is I may never own a Kraken shirt, but I could probably own a Kraken pin.
We see Eric. Eric got the first trade.
Oh, he did.
Eric got the first trade. Eric, I'm forgetting his last name, but he's the one that threw the meetup at the Tiki Bar. He got the first, which by the way was an amazing time.
That was Aku. Yes,
Aku was awesome. That
place was fun. That was a lot of fun.
Shout out to Eric for putting that together, because that was, and the little toast and tribute that he did to Ian was just absolutely beautiful. So he got the first trade with Steve. I was right there when it happened, and he gave him the Kraken pin, and that was. And so that was. I'm pretty sure he's like the only one that owns one at this time.
Wow.
That was pretty cool to see. I was hoping to score a Lennon Warrior pin to send out to Tatiana.
Oh,
because I know she definitely wants one, and I think she definitely deserves to. She needs to have one,
For sure.
I think this is a really good space that we're going into. I think this is a really good way, like really good direction, I should say. That's a better way of putting it.
Yeah, and it becomes accessible to people who don't necessarily want to wear the shirts too.
Right. I agree completely. Megacon was absolutely amazing, and like I said, between we had the Thursday night meetup at Aku Aku, and then we had Friday at Epcot, and then Saturday was the big meetup in Mosh Eisley.
Yes,
and that was killer. That was.
Let's talk a little bit about Mosh Eisley, about the shirt giveaway, about everything that happened there. For background, Mosh Eisley is a group that is principally involved in the Thank the Maker podcast. If you're fans of Star Wars, so all of those guys are part of Mosh Eisley. Most of them have musical backgrounds or are in bands, and it turns out to be a Star Wars themed roomful sing along with all of your favorite like punk/emo hits from the 90s and the early 2000s.
Right. And
That's it.
that is just so much fun,
Yes.
And it's not crazy expensive. I think
No.
tickets were only about $35,
Mm-hmm.
which I think is perfect for what it is. And it's a lot of fun,
Yes.
It's a lot of fun to. I wish there was more of them, but I think part of what kind of makes it special is that it only happens every so often.
That's right. There'll be another one at maybe sooner than Comic-Con, but they'll definitely have one at San Diego.
Right, that's what I heard. I heard they'll be at San Diego.
Yeah, and that should
are
be.
you planning on attending that?
Yeah, it's funny is when I was telling my origin story, I was there all 4 days of Comic-Con. Didn't know there was an insider meetup. Didn't know there was. I did hear that there was a giveaway where they gave away that Kevin Smith shirt at the insiders or at Mosh Eisley. I did hear about that, but I didn't. It was too late. Like I couldn't get into it or anything along those lines. But this year I'll be coming. I'll know ahead of time what's going on, and I'll be able to participate. I hope.
Yeah, you'll participate, and you will bring your mule to get me everything because I will not be able to come to San Diego.
Mule.
Because I would never expect you to miss out, but I would expect your mule to miss out for me.
Mules miss out. Yeah,
miss out. Sorry,
that's
sorry,
it.
Mule.
Yeah.
Next time, don't be a mule. Be an insider.
Well, you got to switch up, right?
I really wish I could be with you guys at San Diego and party. Yeah. San Diego Comic-Con tickets are expensive, though. I just realized that. Isn't that, like, impossible to get in San Diego? Like, they're not like Megacon tickets in New York Comic-Con. San Diego Comic-Con tickets, they sell out in, like, 20 seconds.
Right? Yeah. Comic-Con in San Diego is still the OG. It's like the big daddy of cons. Like, you go there, and it's much bigger than Megacon. Like,
I may have to count myself out
there. Well, but the interesting thing about it is that it's a larger show, but that means there should be more tickets available to go, right? It's just a high demand.
You would think. You would.
Yeah.
It's just the amount of people who are buying them with any event. There's always going to be people to buy to resell.
Yeah.
I just wonder if with San Diego, it's just the amount of people who are buying to actually go and not buying to resell.
Yeah, I mean, I've never even heard about the resale. Like, how that works? Because they will ship you your badges to Comic-Con if you square it early enough.
Yeah.
But but I've never even looked into. I guess I haven't needed it that way, so I haven't even thought about the idea of reselling a badge to a show.
There's got to be.
Yeah, there's got to be a way. I mean, once you pick up the lanyard, it's not like it has your photo on it.
Right.
If there's a problem, or you do something, if you're a schmuck, then you might, and they need to see your ID. That might be a problem. They might invalidate your badge, but nobody's checking your ID. If you've got the lanyard, you scan in, you're good, right? I mean, you're in.
You're in. Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. So, any thoughts on the free shirt giveaway, the little Kunu?
So I'm a big purple guy. It's kind of I think that's kind of why I like the arcade carpet. It's one of the purple shirts, and I don't own enough purple shirts, so like that kind of fits right in exactly what I want. I think Lil Kunu is a great mascot for the company. I think it's kind of funny, and I think it's cool that he turns into a floral.
Yes.
So I mean, admittedly, I like the New York one more. I wouldn't say that Lil Kunu tops the New York meetup shirt. I think the New York meetup shirt that was badass. that was a very cool badass shirt. I love what my buddy Kyle Keller did with that shirt. Did you see that? What he did?
No. What did he do?
So Kyle was freaking epic. Kyle had the New York meetup shirt, and then he had purchased another shirt that he turned into shorts. He bought like a 3XL or a 4XL that he turned into meetup shorts.
Nice.
And then he had the flag with the design. Jason Hepler, which by the way, Jason Hepler is...
I did see this. He had the small mini flag that he was carrying around.
Yeah. He had the flag, right, exactly. That's my buddy Kyle.
Yes.
Kyle is the man. And I think what he had was absolutely epic. I love that. I have like that was a great cool thing that he did.
Yeah. I'm like, how did you get that? How did you get the fabric? Like, you had to get a second one, right? Or did he just make that?
The shorts?
The flag. How did he make the flag?
No, so the way he got the flag was Jason Hepler, which by the way, I love Jason Hepler too. Jason is the man. Jason is super cool. Jason doesn't own an iPhone, which I kind of shit on him for because I'm a big Apple guy. But Jason Hepler is an incredibly smart individual and just a really, really nice great guy. If you don't know Jason Hepler, you have to reach out to Jason Hepler because he is just one of my favorite people.
Mm-hmm.
Jason he did like a really deep scan of the shirt, of the design of the shirt, and I guess cleaned it up and whatnot, and then sent it to Kyle so he can get the flag printed up at I think like FedEx Kinko's, and it came out great. It looked super
it was
cool.
Awesome. It was great, man. It was good. I was like, wow. I thought he got an extra shirt, and I was like, you burned a shirt to make that flag?
I discovered it too late, but I found a website that will make custom Converse All-Stars. So you can upload an image and they'll print it right on and so I was like, I wanted to order custom Converse with that design on it.
Man.
And that would have been epic for him.
Jeez.
But it just wouldn't come in time. By the time I found it, they just wouldn't come in time for the con.
That's
crazy. But that would have looked so cool. That would have looked epic. Man.
That would have been awesome. That would have been so awesome. Let's move on from Megacon. Be there next year is basically my summary.
Be there next year. Tickets go on sale really soon. So definitely got to be there. I mean, will you be attending?
Yeah. At this point, I have no reason to make other plans. So there is a small chance that I may go to Antarctica of all places next February.
Why is that?
Well, because because it's going to be melted soon. That's why, John.
Oh, you're like, I'm going there now because I won't be able to go there later.
The trip is in February, and so you got to go through Argentina, and you've got to take a really weird boat ride all the way down there. But I'm going to get down there. I'm going to bring my flag. Yeah, I'm going to be out in the snow.
Hell yeah, that'd be an epic
canoe.
Picture, dude.
I'm going to get that picture, right? I'm going to conquer Antarctica for Roosevelt's. But yeah, so we'll see. But my plans right now, definitely assuming there isn't something else going on, I'll be there, and maybe I'll have tales of Antarctica to regale you with.
I think our listeners would definitely love that.
Well, let's switch over to what happened this week in Roosevelt. We've talked a lot about the Megacon exclusives so far. They released the Orlando Floral, which was a really pretty S2. Not as good as the New Orleans Floral, and I will save it for my video review as to why. Yeah, but I'm
and where will that Orlando, video review be?
At Wearable Fandom, at Wearable Fandom on YouTube, right here where I put the title.
Exactly.
But there's a couple of things that I really love about the Orlando Floral. It's very similar color scheme wise to the one they had from last year at Megacon. Also, the Haunted House Guest, the gray colorway was, I'm going to be honest, way better than the retail one that they released.
Yeah.
So much better. It captures like the ghost and sort of that pasty feel. It's easy from my perspective. It's an easier to wear than that purpley green kind of thing.
Sure. No, I agree. You can definitely find more things that go with that.
Yeah, exactly.
That purpley green one.
We got the Disney Pals, the pink Disney Pals, which they then turned around, and we'll talk about in the Sand and Surf collection. They released a blue version of the but the pink one was the chase rare. What'd you think of that guy?
I loved it. I mean, I got there. I mean, that was intense that morning. I got to the con at 8:00 in the morning. The con doors open up at 10. I think VIP got a half-hour start, if I'm not mistaken.
Right.
But I got there at 8 a.m. and I almost missed it. They were sold out of every size by 11 a.m.
Wow.
And I mean, I'm a big Disney guy. I have a lot of Disney shirts. I have more Disney shirts than I'm proud to admit. I thought it was great. I loved it, but I also love the blue though. I love the blue. The
weird part is like Chip and Dale are on that shirt, and they're not in the cartoon. They're not in the original 1937 Hawaiian Holiday cartoon. Right. So I've got to figure out like a little bit more. I've still got more investigation to do about that. But when I saw that title and it came up Hawaiian Holiday and it was the pink, I was like, is that the pink? I was like, holy crap, it is. I was like, okay, now it's connected deeper into the lore.
I feel like Roosevelt has a lot less creative control when it comes to the Disney shirts. I feel like Disney definitely has a stronghold on their designs and their license as to what can be released and what can't be released. Yeah. I think some of the other companies are a little bit more like I think Nickelodeon is pretty much like, yeah, do whatever you want, have fun.
It seems like it, yeah, a little more flexible.
I think Disney has a stronghold though on what.
Yeah, they're all making money together, which I'm.
Everyone's making money. Everyone's making money except for us. Money. We're losing it. We're giving it to them, but
the vacuum goes
exactly.
So also this week, so the Tuesday drop was the Disney Sand and Surf collection. We'll just stay with this kind of Mickey, kind of run through.
Yeah.
And what was this one was actually a larger drop than usual, to be honest.
Oh yes, I was not expecting all that, and I wanted to buy pretty much everything. I mean, I love the tuxes. I think it's great that we got tuxes,
Yeah.
and I'm really happy that we see the return of T-shirts. The fact that we have the return of actual T-shirts is really cool, and I love the new material they're going with. They have been testing it out with the conventions, and they finally got it right with San Diego and with New York
Mm-hmm.
as like the final blend that they were going to go with.
Yeah.
So I'm really happy that we finally have the return of T-shirts. Do you have any
I
Roosevelt
have
tees?
I have one Roosevelt tee that is an old Shark Week one from like 2019.
Right. Okay. So that's a different material than what they're
Yeah.
using
Yeah.
now.
And then I have the ones that they gave away at Comic-Con last year.
Right at San
So
Diego.
yeah, at San Diego they gave a couple of really nice ones. I'm not wearing them. I haven't taken them. They're still in the bag. I still have them in the bag. So if
Okay.
anybody wants them, reach out. But for the most part,
Oh, people will reach out.
yeah, yeah.
What sizes are they?
They're 3X. I'm pretty sure they're 3X. I'll check. But yeah, getting the tux were really cool. We saw a few different things. I actually was most taken back. First of all, the shore looks relaxing was a really cool shirt. That's kind of like a board buddies sort of
Yeah.
adjacent type shirt. Cabana Mickey was a cool color. I love that green, like minty kind of green color.
And that was the one everyone thought was going to be Tropical Mickey 2.0
Yeah,
on the
yeah,
Insiders group. They thought because they saw that little bit on the video when they did the Disney 100 drop. They saw it inside the spotlight case, and a lot of people were convinced that was going to be a con exclusive. It was like
yeah.
Tropical Mickey 2.0.
It's a good looking shirt.
Oh, great shirt. What did you buy any?
No. I mean, I did not get any of these because I had just come back from buying all
Spent a
these
ton of money at
exclusives.
Megacon. Right.
Yeah, exactly.
That's
So I was like, oof.
That's the one thing I think Roosevelt needs to be a little bit smarter about that. They know just 300 insiders just came back from Megacon to spend a ton of money.
Yeah.
Maybe wait a couple of weeks. Maybe wait a couple of weeks before dropping something that heavy. Because now I feel like I missed out. And now I'm going to have to spend double on BST.
It's reverse missed out. Yeah. But I mean, these are the kind of things will be back in stock though. So it's fine. Like my money tree will regrow its leaves and maybe I'll have some for the next go round.
Right. Exactly.
But one thing I do want to call attention to, and I'm not positive, so would love to get your take, the hats that they actually released.
Yeah.
These appear to be all brand new hats. They're all really nice.
They call these dad hats, I think.
Dad hats.
Yeah.
Okay.
These are not the snapbacks with the flat brim that we've been seeing. We've seen this dad hat sprinkled into a couple of different drops. I think in the Shrek drop they just did one of these as well. These dad hats, and maybe these are going to become the norm.
Interesting.
How do you like the dad hat style compared to the flat?
Well, it's kind of interesting because I'm trying to figure out. I'm like, is my Giants hat a dad hat? I'm like, I don't know. It's kind of like it's
maybe
the
we
slope.
Have to.
It's not the high.
Maybe we have to order a snapback and order a dad hat. And we can compare them on Wearable Fandom.
It's a good idea. But I love the fact that they had produced all those shirts. I love the materials, the color choices. There's a lot of really good matches. And I'll be honest with you, John, I've never seen, and I mean this in only loving terms, I've never seen a collection of better color coordinated nerds in my life than at Megacon the Insiders.
I agree.
Matching shoes, matching glasses, matching hats, even if they're not Roosevelt's. Like, people really put energy and effort in. And Insiders, I want you to know I saw you and I appreciate you for that. I appreciate you for that.
I agree completely, dude. I love that.
I gotta up my game. I can't get by with this Giants hat. I gotta get a colorway Giants hat.
Exactly. We need to.
We'll match.
The amount of effort and money that people put in to look amazing. You can see it. You can definitely. 100%. It's like you definitely notice it. It doesn't go unnoticed.
Yeah. Well, we'll move on from Disney, and then the other big one was the Deadpool drop. Are you a big Marvel guy? Are you like huge?
I am.
Marvel?
Yes. No. I love the MCU. I'm a big Marvel guy. I've seen them all. I mean, are you a big Marvel guy?
Yeah. I'm definitely a big comics fan.
Yeah,
It's very interesting because Deadpool is on my list of characters, but he's like pretty far down there. The movies are great. Deadpool, the comic, when you go back and read it, doesn't age too well. Lots of comics are like that. They are kind of an era, but
sure.
but the movie has just sort of like rejuvenated that character and been portrayed
Oh,
incredibly well.
definitely.
Yeah,
I mean, and Ryan Reynolds just does a great job. I
he
mean,
is.
he is the character.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. I think you're
He
absolutely
is.
right.
He's epic. I love it. And we have the new movie coming out soon, right? There's a new Deadpool, right?
Yes, yes, we do. And the thing about the Deadpool drop that really caught my attention was they had the Kunus, and the Kunus look great. They had the Chimichanga Dreams. There's some
Yes.
weird stuff there. The Anti-Hero was one of my favorite. It's like a faces pattern type of shirt with Deadpool. The Merc with the mouth. They've got that one fits more into like some of the style of the TMNTs and
Yeah.
the Maximum Effort. But then they also came back with polos, and that was cool. Like
Breakfast balls, baby.
the breakfast polos, the dead red with where the shirt is red, but it's got the fabric of his costume, his actual movie costume.
Yeah.
That pattern plus the little Deadpool in the top right chest, awesome. Like
Perfect.
really, really amazing shirts. They had a hat there. Man, I loved a few of these. I didn't buy any of these because again, Megacon broke, but
Right.
but still, I really appreciated the energy and the diversity. Like they really gave him the full Roosevelt's treatment.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I was just hoping we get a hoodie. I was hoping for. I love the hoodie. I would have bought. I would have had the. I love the hoodies.
In San Francisco, we do wear a decent amount of hoodies. My go-to hoodie right now is a Nintendo New York store hoodie that I
Okay.
got when I was in Manhattan. Which performance hoodie would you want?
As a hoodie, I feel like Maximum Effort would look dope.
Maximum Effort would be cool.
I feel like my gut is saying Merc with a mouth. That would be the one that I feel like would be a good hoodie. But Maximum Effort, like, I love that. I would go for
Yeah.
that. I would go for that right there.
I would go with Chips and Chimmy, the polos. I would actually go with the Dead Red or the Chips and
Oh,
Chimmy for
yeah. There
polos.
you
Yeah.
go. That would be. How many hoodies are you up to?
Well, Roosevelt's hoodies, I just have one. I just have the Dark Waves Drop Zone hoodie.
Oh, the Samoa Waves. Yeah.
Yeah, the Samoa Waves. Yeah, that's the one I have. How about you?
Too many. Not that I've counted. I'm probably up to between 10 and 15 hoodies.
What's your go-to wear? Like, what is your must wear?
Recently, it's been this one. This one
Yeah.
right here, the Aztec has been, and I have the other Aztec too. It was a great insider who doesn't want to be named, so I'm not going to name them here.
Okay.
A great insider who I was really blessed to finally meet at Comic-Con for the first time in person. There was a period of time where I was just posting like every day. I'm like, anybody got any hoodies? I'm on a mission to get every hoodie. And the original Aztec hoodie is one that they only printed up once, and it's sold out ever since. And it goes for honestly like $200 on BST right now. And he sent it to me as a surprise. And like I was so blessed to have it. I'm so blessed, like just like amazing gift and such a great design. Definitely one of my go-tos because it just goes with everything.
Yeah.
But like, and that's just the spirit of the community. Like, you know what I mean? He could have sold that hoodie for $200 easily on BST, but he was like, "Oh, you know what? John's looking to collect hoodies. Like, let me just send this to him." And who does that? Who does that?
Cool people do that. That's who.
Cool
does that.
people do. You know, he's sending me a hoodie. You're sending me to San Diego Comic-Con. I mean, just like really cool people do lots of amazing things, and just like that's why the community is great.
I'm sending you to Comic-Con.
Exactly.
I like that. I like the implanting of the ideas. Another great week for Roosevelt's. It seems like there's always something going on. Deadpool, the Sand and Surf, and of course the Megacon collections. So good coverage and overview of them here. Let's talk a little bit about the community happenings as we kind of head out of the cast here.
Yeah.
One of the things that I love, and especially about this community, is that in addition to the conventions that people can attend and get in or get out with the insider events, there are also people who are just doing regional kind of local events. There's going to be one in South Carolina. They're all over the place. And I thought it would be a really good idea to talk both about the known meetups and maybe to recommend people to come out if one of the things we're mentioning happens to be in their neighborhood.
I agree completely. I think fan meetups, Roosevelt's Insiders meetups, are some of the best things that you can be a part of. I think it's great to meet local insiders in your area, or if you happen to be traveling and you have nothing to do, and there's happen to be a meetup in the area that you're in, go there and meet the people and be there with them. It is just fun, and like I said, you don't need, like I said, obviously official fan meetups are the best. Having HQ there is amazing. If there's a cool shirt, you know what I mean, it's awesome. Like how they did for the Jacksonville drop, the Jacksonville meetup,
Mm-hmm.
they did an exclusive shirt there, and I mean that's because Jacksonville just gets Aaron gets so many people to come to his meetup, and
Yeah.
I think it's absolutely cool. I think that's really amazing that they did that for him. But just the great little meetups, even if there's 10 people at your meetup or less, it doesn't matter. I think it's a great time to just go and meet local people in your area, and you can just make friends in your area that you can just go out and do things with, I mean, even outside of Roosevelt's, and just create like these long lasting relationships. Have you noticed that nobody's throwing a meetup where you live? If you're looking through posts and you don't see anything that's happening in your area, maybe you should try to start one.
People are all over the country. If you're in the insiders group, and we should say, if you just stumbled into this podcast and found it, and you're wondering what the heck is an insider and how do I become one,
Well,
if you
there's an
bought,
initiation,
there is an initiation. Buy a shirt,
but
but
buy a shirt, and we'll move on to step 2 from that.
yeah, and so you apply to join the group, and then it takes a little while to get in there. Sometimes because the staff of the company of Roosevelt's actually are the ones, I think, primarily that are the approvers, and
Correct.
they got day jobs. So this is an adjacent part of their day job of making sure these shirts get where they need to go, get made on time, etc. So
And I like to think they do like kind of like a vetting process to. I mean, you have to answer a couple of things and prove
yeah,
that you read the rules beforehand. But I also
exactly,
think they do go ahead and check your profile to see if it's legit. Because the idea is to keep as many scammers out as possible.
100%. Yeah.
So that process does take some time. So the earlier you join, the earlier you can get in.
Exactly. And when you join, you'll be able to see people post all of these different events going on. Probably they're public too. So you might be able to search them outside of the group. If you just search for the letters of the company, RSVLTS,
Yeah,
and then meetup, you might find some of them anyways without being an insider. So if you're curious to see what's going on, just head over to Facebook and take a look. I know Facebook has gone through a lot of changes and people are trying to get away from it and get off of it. I too have done that, but ultimately, it's still a good tool for meeting up with people in real life, right? It's not a replacement for having a social life. So find these
right.
meetups, get out, touch grass, and meet some people with cool shirts.
Exactly. I agree with you completely, Dustin.
Let's close out with our hot shirt pick of the week. John, do you have a shirt pick? Could be something in your closet, something that you want to buy, just something that's got your attention.
Yeah, man. So the one that I currently have to be on the hunt for, and I need the shorts for it as well, is the Getaway. It's that nice ocean blue with the boat going across the bed. I think that design is nice, and I didn't pick it up initially, but
Hmm,
that's one now that I feel like I'm going to need. What
man.
What about you, Dustin?
Okay, so for me, I did have one of the cool parts. Just to close out, one more thing on Megacon was to see the shirts in person. And when you look on the website, there's a lot of really good pictures. There's some attractive models. There's people who look better in the shirts than I do, but it's hard to it's hard to honestly communicate how much better the shirts look in person
I agree.
than they do on the site. Like
It
they just
happens all the
pop
time.
off when you're wearing them. They just like they get you. So I saw the Sex Panther shirt. Someone was wearing one at the show,
Yeah.
and I was like, that shirt, it's a whale. I'm sure it's super spendy, and I'll probably be looking for it for a while. But it's a gorgeous shirt. I wish I had gotten that one when it first came around.
That was the drop zone. That was, it came out. Well,
Oh
it came out originally as a regular poly shirt, and then they redid it in Kunu not terribly long ago, but as a drop zone that sold out in like a second.
man. Well, sometimes you get them. I've managed to get a few of the drop zones. I've got the agave. Now we're gonna have to have a conversation about the mushroom shirt. Did you get a mushroom shirt?
I did not get a mushroom shirt.
Yeah, most people didn't. I have a feeling that shirt is actually going to become extra strength collectible because of the fact that no one seemed to like it. But I
Yeah,
bought one. I've got one.
you got one.
I got one.
Are you keeping it new at tags?
Yeah. I'm
There you
keeping it
go.
new with tags. Most of my shirts are new with tags. The ones I do the reviews for, I keep the tags on them. So I will take them out of the bag. And I know some people don't even want you taking them out of the bag, but I take them out of the bag because I need to film them, right?
Sure, of course.
So yeah, and then I fold it back, put it in. It's never worn. It's just new with tags. But I do have that mushroom shirt, and I have a feeling that mushroom shirt is going to be more appreciated in the future than it has been in the last 6 months.
Okay. All right. Well, I mean, I'll be excited to see where that happens, and we'll definitely be talking about that.
We'll be talking about that. We'll be talking about everything. I think it's time to shut the front door and get out of here,
Let's do it,
John.
man. I
This
think
has been a blast, dude. I mean,
I love
think
this. This was awesome.
this is good energy. This is like my hit of what I was getting in spades at Megacon from all the cool people, all the good energy. We'll have to do this again, I think, and hopefully the
I
folks
agree.
listening will encourage us to keep doing it.
Let's do it, man. I love it.
All right. Well then, with that, we're gonna sign off. So
We
thanks
need a
everyone
fun
for
sign off. We need
listening.
to come with a fun sign off.
Do you know my sign off from my videos? Always be yourself.
Always be yourself. I have seen your videos sporadically. I haven't watched all of your videos, but I have
It's
watched.
all right. It's all right.
I'm sorry. But now that we're gonna be working together, I will go back and watch.
You've watched more of my videos than my mom has. Okay, my mom.
No,
You know,
I'm sure your mom watches them.
no, she doesn't watch them.
No,
No.
my mom 100% will watch this podcast.
Well, that's good. That's
my mom
good.
will listen to this podcast. Especially my
Say hi to mom.
Yeah, hi mom. No, my mom will 100%. When I tell her that I'm doing a podcast, she will 100% listen to this podcast.
That's
even though
fantastic.
she doesn't care for Roosevelt's, she will 100% listen to this podcast just to listen to her boy.
Aw, well, hi, John's mom. It's nice to have you as our one listener.
Exactly. Yeah, thank you, mom.
That's going to do it. Remember, everyone,
Always
be yourself. We'll see you next time.
See
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.